Whoa, hello there, everybody. How you doing? Yeah, jamming out little golden earring. Dig that group, man. That's all I can say. I really do. Saw them and yeah. So hey, it's Joy Day, Thursday. It's a day. And no matter what day it is, hey, we're all here together. We get a chance to kind of just chill out and just kick back and just, dig the party and dig the company because it's all really groovy. And as he goes through the motions of going here, going there, closing the bus door, and we're off. So, welcome everyone. Favor be upon us all. Wave after wave after wave. It's the only way to do it, man. Back in the days when I used to surf, y'all know, those of you who've gone out there and caught the waves, you know what it is. It's the rhythm. That's what it's like. Hey, Isby, what's up? Deborah Sloan and Susie Q. Good to see you. DC Jill. Hello, Andrew. Deborah. Hello, Chloe. Kathy. Nina. How are you, my dear? Lost in Space. Good to see you. And John Price. Hello, S. Lee and Jules. Much love. Thank you all for tuning in. Hey, Julianne. Speaking of Julianne, the panel of fabulous, wise women will be convening tomorrow. Going to be talking about herbal remedies. Hey, go. So check it out, man. It's going to be fun. Let's see, Mr. Floyd, what's up? I think I saw David Castle and Rufus there, and I thought I saw Heidi. Hello. How are you, my dear? Big hug to Rufus. What else has happened? Joe Sapien, what's up? So I saw that comment about the board. Hey, listen, that's respect, and there's nothing wrong with that. Carries a long ways. Hey, Elderberry, good to see you. Kimberly, hello. So what's up, everybody? Papa Lee, good to see you. Hello, Linda. Linda will be on tomorrow. Colleen, what's up? Good girl. Good to see you. Ginger, hello. As the room fills up, so 6633. Yeah, that's what the number says. Just coming in, 6633. And of course, now it's changed. There you go. Hey, real quick, everybody should have, fire starter, waterproof fire starter. Word is circulating, and you know how this is. There's all sorts of good stuff. These are things that, hey, they're saying tomorrow may be an interesting day. So the script has been written, folks. All I got to say is that we just have to be especially alert and tuned, aware. How's that? BOSTO, very of service to others. Hey, comes back around to you. Happy birthday if you got one, or anniversary. Love them. It's what defines us. And we are a prospering. So real quick, Al sent this to me. And as he goes over here, pop. So Karen and Al got some things going, the t-shirts. Al sent me a voicemail and said, y'all going to dig it. So this is, as I understand, the cover that will be on the box of the cards. So Al said this to, these were pre-orders. He's on it. And I think they've got the amount that they're going to do the first run with now. So if any of you know how the printing process works, well, it's not a one-step all type of ordeal. It's not. Let's see. So let me go over here and okay. There I go. I am reading as I'm driving. Yikes. I'll have to get back on that. No Steiger perspective until further notice. Little hiatus. It's the man. What can I say? Let's see what else is happening. So much good stuff. It's Thursday. This is a good vibe out there. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I think Andromeda 7 has a kind of a special guest tomorrow night. Check them out. And we love the ladies over there as well. So, Linda, hello. How are you? Go. What's up? Terry Electra, how are you doing? Hello, Trina. Didn't know that you were sitting in. I think you're here. Yeah. TL, what's up? Nina says, what? They took down the radio station. Well, they did mine show. But, listen, always good things. I mean, you smile and you just always speak favor. Heidi, what's up? Oh, Tony is getting worse. Oh, everyone, let's just send some healing energy to Tony. Tony is Heidi's dog. And wow, Heidi, I'm just speaking healing over Tony. I've seen a picture of Tony. And hey, Teresa. So, yeah, just laying my hands upon Tony and just speaking life into his body. Life, it's the energy, speaking that energy in there. So, wow, yeah. Hey, S. Lee, Naughty Beaver and his brother are, is that riding the bike? Is that, I don't know what that means. Yeah, that's where it went. Hey, it's all right. You keep the archives. That's what you do. Sure, you do. That's what you do. So, let's see. Joyce says, Naughty Beaver has a brother. I'm just reading the chat room in here. Hello, Ann. How are you doing? Good to see you. Project Skyfall. Good to see you. He is. Naughty Beaver is, definitely deserves the full thumbs up. And I like him a lot. Hey, Robert V, what's happening? Lost in space. Eric, good to see you. I seen the Naughty Beaver is on something, is on to something, I tell you. Well, what is he on to? He's on to a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff happening. No doubt about it. There is so much amped up fear. Man, it is everywhere. I tell you, it's nice to have your house sitting there in the calm, the serenity, while the whirlwind is rolling outside, and it's a whirling, whoop, 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 right? I have to admit that put a cloud on my day. Well, Susie, it's okay. I shall end up in another place. In this meantime, we just send them vibes, man. Just send them good vibes. That's all it is. Linda says he's been on to something for 6 years. Super intelligent man. Yeah, I agree. No doubt about it. Jackie, well, great. That is cool. Hey, Eye of the Maelstrom, what's up? Judy, good to see you as well. Thank you, Susie Q, making me blush. It's like, oh, gee, thank you. I love this group. So, man, we're on the subject this week is that I can tell you there is something that awaits us all. I don't know what that is. I mean, I have a beach, but right near my beach, I have a mountain valet. So, villa that sits right up there. And that would be, the ideal spot for some rejuvenation time. We all get it. One thought says it takes about 72 hours to rejuvenate us for us to get our balance. And, there's just a host of books. Wow, Shannon. So you're going to go up? Yeah, there's a lot of snow up there. So yeah, and it next week it'll be cold. It's cold here today. It was cold last night. Got down to like I think 4 or 5 below zero. Yeah, that'll put you a smile on your face and a zip in your dip, as they would say. So we cover so much here, and we're going to continue because it seems like if they continue to run this script, they want a lot of us to be exiting. I don't feel that vibe yet, which tells me that no, I intend to exit when my spirit says, hey, dude, time to go. It ain't there yet, that's for sure. But it makes it interesting because the way I kind of look at this is just the Steiger's perspective on the afterlife. That there is always preparation, always. In my entrepreneur days, one of the first disciplines I learned was writing a business plan. Why write a business plan? They're laborious, expensive, time consuming. But the thing about it is, and the same thing if you have a life plan for your own life, I don't know how many of you do that. I don't know where you are on your life plan, or if you're just one of those who says, well, I like to go with the flow. Nothing wrong with that either. In fact, that kind of, I think, makes the adventure even more. But what I have come to realize is that no matter all the different books that we get to read, the stories, the personal experiences so many of you have, we know that there awaits something. And for me, after I look at it like this, when I reach the 25,000 day mark, that's kind of a moment, it's like, man, been on here for 25,000 days. I'm not there yet. Will soon be, but not now. And that's one of the things that I've learned is living the now. The now, I'm already over there. I'm just living in the now here. There will be a time when I'm going to be living in the now there, which is cool. And since this is going to be a continuation of the adventure, I look at it like this. I came into this realm equipped. I had a personality, an intelligence level, just a lot of things. Because obviously, I think that if we're truly immortal beings, if we're of a spiritual nature, then if you're going to go into this realm, I think it'd be like any other expedition. You're going to want to make sure that you have at least the basic supplies, right? Do we know how many days we are before we come in? I don't know. I like to think not. Makes it, someone says someone's counting them. They know the exact date. I don't know. But so here I am. And now the thought has occurred that, okay, well, we all have to be thinking this. Yeah. At some point in time in the now, I'm going to be in the future now. I'm already there now because now here allows me this unique experience of the subtleness of the awareness of this perception of moving time. That's far out. Think about it. We're all right here in the now. We can never hold on to the now, but we can never let go of the now because the now is always now. We have the past, which was the now. We have the future, which is going to be the now. So the way I look at it is that, okay, if I'm heading over there, I got my reservation already. I mean, tickets paid for. Then I figured, well, all right, so what can I be taking here now in the preparation for the now then? Or would it be the then now? Could be the future then now. But is that proper English? Anyway, that's why we're here. We have fun with this. Hey, listen, I'm just driving the bus. You know, I'm the guy that's looking in the camera, and the rest of y'all in the chat room, you're just digging it. The ones that are listening, thank you for listening. It's cool. I mean, if I could have it to where we could have the virtual microphone and just send it around, you know, where you could just pick it up and say, hey, Steiger, I got something I want to put in here. Like, cool. Open-minded said, if you speed up fast enough, time doesn't exist. It's true. I mean, I know what it is to go in, you know, the old NASCAR, actual race cars. I mean, time does slow down. Faster you go. Yeah. So yeah, when you're taking a journey, you like a few supplies. That's what I'm saying. And if it's all here, I mean, there's a connection to here, but it seems to be here. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, man, I made it over there. What can I say? So got a number of PDF books because, by the way, someone said yesterday, by the way, this is going to be an interesting book. We're going to get into this, called The Book of Soul Retrieval. And this is really interesting. This is a really interesting book. We're going to cover it. Got it in PDF because, yeah, I'll just wait till we get to it. Y'all are going to love it. You're going to dig it. You're going to say, oh, man, yeah. And there are a number of books, like I've been reading this one too. Consciousness Beyond Life, you know, Voyages into the Afterlife, The End All to Be All. I love this guy's work. The Deception of Holiness and the Human Belief System. Yeah, you know, talks about the pre-programmed. That's what they try to do to us, man. And they're all too often successful. The Multidimensional Man, another good one. Y'all are going to really like this one. And if y'all really into studying and really get some of the more clinical, I do have this book. You can get it in the PDF. I love this book. It's a great book to be reading at night. I find it to be. The Human Personality and the Survival of Bodily Death. We survive. Reading one book right now that's interesting because it talks about that we have been taught wrong about what to expect. See, we shed the memory of coming in to this realm through the initiation of blood. All of us are in that. And for those of us who went through the canal, the dark tunnel, isn't it odd that how we come through the dark tunnel here, and it seems like we exit out by the tunnel, the dark tunnel? I don't know. But we know this. It hurt like hell. I think it was so traumatic for us that we purposely just say, screw this. I don't want to remember it anymore. I don't want to even have any thought of it anymore. Yeah, it's birth. And to this physical realm, yeah, it's traumatic. We're all suffering from PSD. What can I say? It's like, man, yeah, that's why you got to have a little bit of time healing on the other side, because they're going, yeah. And much of the book that someone said, would you please read these stories out? And she was jesting. Everybody wanted to know what happened to Penny. Well, Penny, yeah, she was adapting. And I love, again, reaching out to Bambi, because I really like to know how she plugged into this. There are many, many books. Robert V says, I wish I had more time to read. Robert, isn't that the truth? I say that all the time. Joyce says, my healing is here. Oh, Joyce, that's the sweetest thing you could say. That is just, hey, everybody, give yourself a hand. This is what edifies people when they come into this group. Love, love, love. All you need is love. Everybody now. All you need is love, love. Okay, I used to have dreams of coming through the dark tunnel into the bright lights. You know, Isby, let's all talk about this a second. Isn't it odd that we never correlated the departure to the exact experience of the entry? In my meditation time, my spirit guides taught me that that's where we get that from. If medical science says that this stops, this organ, the brain, because the depletion of oxygen, which is the catalyst for the electrical interaction, along with the ether that we all breathe in. The ether is everywhere. It's part of the gas that we breathe in. But anyway, they say that as it starves itself, it begins to collapse. Well, maybe that's how it was when it came in. I mean, that's for all of us. I mean, that point of ignition. So we come in through the dark tunnel, and all we know and remember is that it hurt. It was excruciating pain. And we can't see with our eyes just yet. They're adjusting from a alien environment into a completely different alien environment. But we can sense the light. And what most of us remember is the bright light. And when that bright light hits us, it's immediately received with more pain. And thus the adventure starts. I mean, makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, I never really thought about it that way, but yeah. So why wouldn't we correlate the departure in the same way that we came in? See, it's interesting, Joyce. It's interesting, you know, because we're still all trying to figure this out. Our science hasn't figured it out. We got more powerful magicians out there that they don't have the PhDs, they don't have the Nobel Prizes, but they should. There should be a classification in the Nobel Prize category of alchemy. You know, I mean, why not? How much is that I look at that we got to? All right. Hello, Blanca. Thank you for hitting the like button. It's 66. So a minute ago, it was 66:33. And there you go. So Dave says, we're all right there. So I got a couple of books I thought would be kind of cool just to check out. This is The Journey of the Souls. Another perspective, since this has been the theme this week. And tomorrow we're going to be dealing with herbal remedies. Got a number of books on that too, if you're looking for it. I thought that we might come up to, in this particular book, and all of you should have, he's got a couple of written. I wanted to go to Homecoming. All right, so this is kind of interesting because this gives us another perspective. It says, since encountering friendly spirits who meet us after death is so important, how do we recognize them? I find a general consensus of opinion among subjects in hypnosis about how souls look to each other in the spirit world. And I have a book that I'll be sharing with folks next week on how you can actually help self-hypnotize yourself. It works. You can do it while you're awake. Anyway, a soul may appear as a mass of energy, but apparently it is also possible for non-organic soul energy to display human characteristics. Souls often use their capacity to project former life forms when communicating with each other. This is kind of bizarre because it almost gives you the idea that when we're in our natural state, we may be able to manifest in forms of multiple different versions of ourselves if the reincarnation thing is what it is. Yeah. Isn't that weird? It says projecting a human life form is only one of the incalculable number of appearances which can be assumed by souls from their basic energy substance. Later on in chapter 6, I will discuss another feature of soul identity, the possession of a particular color of an aura. Most of my subjects report the first person they see in the spirit world is their personal guide. However, after any life, we can be met by a soulmate. Guides and soulmates are not the same. If a former relative or close friend appears to the incoming soul, their regular guide might be absent from the scene. I find that usually guides are somewhat in close proximity, monitoring the incomer's arrival in their own way, much like Avery. The soul, in my next case, has just come through the spiritual gateway and is met by an advanced entity who obviously has had close connections with the subject over a prolonged series of past lives. Although this soulmate entity is not my client's primary guide, he is there to welcome and provide loving encouragement to her. Case number 6. Dr. N. What do you see around you? Subject. It's as if I'm drifting along on a pure white sand, which is shifting all around me. And I'm under a giant beach umbrella. You see, others got their beaches too, with brightly colored panels, all vaporized, but banded together too. Dr. N. Is anyone here to meet you? Subject. I thought I was alone, but in the distance, light moving kind of fast towards me. Oh my gosh. What is it? Subject. It's Uncle Charlie. Uncle Charlie, I'm over here. Dr. N. Why does this particular person come to meet you first? Subject. In a preoccupied, far-off voice, Uncle Charlie, I've missed you so much. I repeat the question. Subject. Because of all my relatives, I loved him more than anybody. He died when I was a child, and I never got over it. On a Nebraska farm in this subject's most immediate past life. Dr. N. How do you know it's Uncle Charlie? Does he have features you recognize? The subject is squirming with excitement in her chair. Sure. Just as I remember him, jolly, kind, lovable. He's next to me. So what's so funny? Subject. Uncle Charlie is just as fat as he used to be. Dr. N. And what does he do next? Subject. He's smiling and holding out his hand to me. Dr. N. Does this mean he has a body of some sort with hands? The subject laughs. Well, yes and no. I'm floating around and so is he. It's in my mind. He is showing all of himself to me. And what I'm most aware of is his hand stretched out to me. Dr. N, why is he holding out his hand to you in a materialized way? The subject. She pauses. Well, to comfort me, to lead me further into the light. Dr. N, and what do you do? The subject. I'm going with him. And we are thinking about the good times we spent together playing in the hay on the farm. Dr. N, and is he letting you see all of this in your mind so you will know who he is? Yes, as I knew him in my last life. So I won't be afraid. He knows I am still a little shocked over my death. Subject had died suddenly in an automobile accident. Dr. N, then right after death, no matter how many deaths we may have experienced in our other lives, is it possible to be a little fearful until we get used to the spirit world again? Subject. It's not really fear that's wrong. More like I'm apprehensive, maybe. It varies for me each time. The car crash caught me unprepared. In fact, I'm still a little mixed up. Dr. N. All right, let's go forward a bit more. What is Uncle Charlie doing now? He's talking to me. He's taking me a place I should go. On the count of three, let's go there. 1, 2, 3. Tell me what is happening. And remember, this is under regressive hypnosis, of which I'm going to do. More about that when I finally, with this breaking up, guess what? You can now do that. Anyway, subject. Well, there are other people around, and they look friendly. As I approach, they seem to want me to join them. Dr. N, continue to move towards them. Do you get the impression that they might be waiting for you? Subject, recognition. Yes. In fact, I realize I have been with them before. No, don't go. What's happening? Subject is very upset. Uncle Charlie is leaving me. Why is he going away? Dr. N, I stopped the dialogue to use standard calming techniques in these circumstances, and then we continue. Look deeply with your inner mind. You must realize why Uncle Charlie is leaving you at this point. Subject, more relaxed, but with regret. Yes, he stays in a different place than I do. He just came to meet me, to bring me here. Dr. N, I think I understand. Uncle Charlie's job is a greeter. That's my input. But the author says here, his job was to be the first person to meet you after your death and to see you were okay. I'd like to know if you feel better now and more at home. Subject, why, yes, I do. That's why Uncle Charlie has left me with the others. A curious phenomenon about the spirit world is that important people in our lives are always able to greet us, even though we may already be living another life in a new body. This was explained in chapter 6. This will be explained in chapter 6. In chapter 10, I will examine the ability of souls to divide their essence so they can be in more than one body at the same time on earth. That gets a little interesting, wouldn't you say? I mean, how many of us have heard those stories? I've had people write me and say that I was in an emergency room in a country on the other side of the world. We've talked about that. You saw that. But I mean, was I there? Apparently I was. But in this body, wasn't apparently aware. Um, Says usually at this juncture in the soul's passage, the carry-on luggage of Earth's physical and mental burdens are diminishing for two reasons. First, the evidence of a carefully directed order and harmony in one spirit world has brought back the remembrance of what we left behind before we chose this life in this physical form. Secondly, there is the overwhelming impact of seeing people we thought we never meet again after they died on Earth. Here's another example. I recently met someone, it was interesting because hadn't thought of this person for a very long time, very close personal relationship, decades and decades and decades ago. But yeah, here they came. And I got a sense that there's a lot of spirits that would like to talk to us before, we get over there. But hey, that's what we're doing. All right, case number 7. We'll get in this and I'll show you a couple of the other books I got. If you want them, hey, I'll forward them to you. Dr. N, now that you've had the chance to adjust to your surroundings in the spirit world, tell me what effect this place has on you. The subject. It's so warm and comforting. I'm relieved to be away from Earth. Ain't that the truth? Said that today. In fact, I found myself saying something I was shocked. It's almost, I said this out loud in this way that I do this. You get to the point where you just say, listen, I don't care about the memories. This is just a very bad place. Oh, it's got beauty and everything else, but it's so heavy, man. That's all I got to say. I just want to stay here always. There is no tension or worries, only a sense of well-being. I'm just floating. How beautiful. Floating, free as a bird. Okay, Dr. N, as you continue to float along, what is your next major impression as you pass the spiritual gateway? Patient. Familiarity. Doctor, what is familiar? Patient. After some hesitation, people, friends, they're here, I think. Dr. N, do you see these people as familiar people on Earth? The subject, I have a sensation of their presence, people I knew. Dr. N, all right, keep moving along. What do you see next? Subject, lights, soft, kind of cloudy-like. Doctor, as you are moving, does this light continue to look the same? No, they're growing, blobs of energy, and I know they are people. Doctor, are you moving towards them, or are they coming towards you? We're drifting towards each other, but I am going slower than they are because, well, I'm uncertain what to do. Doctor, just relax and continue floating while reporting back to me everything you see. Well, now I'm seeing half-formed human shapes from the waist up only. Their outlines are transparent too. I can see through them. Doctor, do you see any sort of features to these shapes? Patient, anxiously. I see eyes. Doctor, you see just eyes? Patient, there is only a trace of a mouth. It's nothing. Alarmed. The eyes are all around me now, coming closer. Doctor, Does each entity have two eyes? Yeah, that's right. Doctor, do these eyes have the appearance of human eyes with an iris and a pupil? No, different. They are large, black orbs radiating light towards me, though. Thought then with a relieved sigh, oh, go on. I'm starting to recognize them. They are sending images into my mind, thoughts about themselves, and the shapes are changing into people. Doctor, people with physical human features? Yeah. Oh, look it's him. Who do you see? The subject begins to laugh and cry at the same time. I think it's Larry. He's in front of everybody else. He is the first one I really see. Larry. Dr. N. After giving my subject a chance to recover a little bit, the soul entity of Larry is in front of an assortment of people you know? Yes. Now I know the ones I want most to see are in front. Some of my other friends are in the back. Doctor, can you see them all clearly? No, the ones in the back are hazy, far off, but I have the sensation of their presence. Larry's in front of me, coming up to me. Larry. Doctor, Larry is the husband from your last life you told me about earlier. Subject rushes on. Yes, we had such a wonderful life together. Gunther was so strong. Everyone was against our marriage in his family. Jean deserted from the Navy, so saved me from the bad life that I was living in Marseilles, always wanting me. This subject is so excited, her past lives are tumbling one on top of the other. Larry, Gunther, and Jean were all former husbands, but the same soulmate. I was glad that we had a chance to review earlier who these people were in sessions before this interval of recall in the spirit world, because Larry, her recent American husband, Jean was a French sailor in the 19th century, and Gunther was the son of German aristocrats living in the 18th century. Wow. It's one thing about his books. I mean, in his subjects that he writes about, and all these are actual, sessions. Get back into it. Then we're going to move on to a couple of others. What are the two of you doing right now? Embracing. Doctor, if a third party were to look at the two of you embracing at this moment, what would they see? She didn't answer. Why would you? The subject is so engrossed in the scene with her soulmate, there are tears streaming down her face. I wait a moment and then try again. What would you and Larry look like to someone watching you in the spirit world right now? They would see two masses of bright light whirling around each other, I guess. Subject begins to settle down, and I help wipe the tears off her face with a tissue. And what does this signify? We're hugging, expressing love, connecting. It makes us happy. Doctor, after you meet your soulmate, what happens next? The subject tightly grips the recliner's arms. Oh, they are all here. I only sensed them before. Now more coming closer to me. Doctor, and this happens after your husband comes near you? Yes. Mother, she is coming over to me. I've missed her so much. Oh, Mom, subject begins to cry again. And this is one of those things, if we've had multiple lives, then wouldn't we have multiple mothers? I don't know. Is that the same one? Doctor says, all right, then. So the subject says, oh, please don't ask me any questions now. I want to enjoy this. Subject appears to be in a silent conversation with her mother of the last life. Doctor, I wait for a minute. Now, I know you are enjoying this meeting, but I need you to help me to know what is going on. Subject, in a faraway voice, we're just holding each other. It's so good to be with her again. Doctor, how do you manage to hold each other with no bodies? Subject, with a sigh of exasperation to me, we envelop each other in light. Of course. Doctor, well, tell me what that this is like for you spirits. Subject, like being wrapped in a bright light blanket of love. Well, that's a good description. I like that. Doctor, I see. Then subject interrupts with a high-pitched laugh of recognition. Tim, it's my brother. He died so young, a drowning accident at the age of 14 in her last life. It's so wonderful to see him here. Subject waves her arms. And there is my best friend, Wilma, from next door. We are laughing together over boys like we did while sitting up in her attic. Dr. N, after subject mentions her aunts and a couple of other friends, what do you think determines the sequence of how all these people come here to greet you? Subject, why, I don't know, how much we all mean to each other. What else? Doctor, and with some, you have lived many lives, while with others, perhaps only one or two. Yes, I have been with my husband the most. Doctor, do you see your guide around anywhere? Subject, he's here. I see him floating off to the side. He knows some of my friends too. Doctor, why do you call your guide a him? Well, we all show what we want of ourselves. He always relates to me with a masculine nature. It's right and very natural. Doctor, and does he watch over you in all your lives? Subject, sure, and after death too, here, and he is always my protector. Our reception committee is planned in advance for us as we enter the spirit world. This case demonstrates how uplifting familiar faces can be to the incoming younger soul. I find that there are a different number of entities waiting in greeting parties after each life. Although the meeting format varies depending on the soul's special needs, I have learned there is nothing haphazard about our spiritual associates knowing exactly when we are due and where to meet us upon our arrival in the spirit world. Frequently, an entity who is significant to us will be waiting a little in front of the others who want to be on hand as we come through the gateway. The size of welcoming parties not only changes for everyone after each life, but is dramatically reduced to almost nothing for more advanced souls where spiritual comfort becomes less necessary. Case 9 at the end of this chapter is an example of this type of spiritual passage. Cases 6 and 7 both represent one of the three ways newly arrived souls are received back into the spirit world. These two souls were met shortly after death by a principal entity, followed by others of decreasing influence. Case 7 recognized people more quickly than case 6. When we meet such spirits in a gathering right after our death, we find they have been spouses, parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, cousins, and dear friends in our past lives. I have witnessed some gut-wrenching emotional scenes with my clients at this stage of their passage. The emotional meeting which takes place between souls at this interval in a spiritual passage are only a prelude to our eventual placement within a specific group of entities at our own maturity level. These meetings provide another emotional high for a subject in superconscious recall. Spiritual organizational arrangements involving how groups form and are cross-matched with other entities will be described in subsequent chapters. For the present, It is important we understand welcoming entities may not be part of our own particular learning group in a spirit world. This is because all the people who are close to us in our lives are not on the same developmental level. Simply because they choose to meet us right after death out of love and kindness does not mean they will all be part of our spiritual learning group when we arrive at the final destination of this journey. For instance, in case 6, Uncle Charlie was clearly a more advanced soul than my subject and may even have been serving in the capacity of a spiritual guide. I wonder how many amongst us are, in fact, spiritual guides. I wonder how many of us are advanced spiritual guides, and we come into these incarnations in order to up our skill level into our next realm of assignments. Just throwing that out there. Don't know, but interesting. It was evident to me that one of the primary tasks of Uncle Charlie's soul was to help case 6 as a child in her life that just ended, and his responsibility continued right after my subject's death. With case 7, the important first contact was Larry, a true soulmate on the same level as this subject was. Notice also in case 7 that my subject's spiritual guide was not conspicuous among her former relatives and friends. However, as the scene unfolds, there were indications of a spiritual guide orchestrating the whole meeting process while remaining in the background. I see this in many cases. The second manner in which we are met right after death involves a quiet, meaningful encounter with one spiritual guide who no one else is revealed in an immediate vicinity. As in case 5, case 8 further illustrates this sort of meeting. What type of after-death meeting we do experience appears to involve the particular style of our spiritual guide along with requisites of our individual character. I find the duration of this first meeting with our guides does vary after each life, depending upon the circumstance of that life. Case 8 shows the very close relationship people have with their spiritual guides. Many guides have strange sounding names, while others are rather conventional. I find it interesting that the old-fashioned religious term of having a guardian angel is now used metaphysically, to denote the empathic spirit. To be honest, this is a term I once denigrated as being foolishly loaded with wishful thinking and representing an outdated mythology at odds with modern world. I don't have that belief anymore about guardian angels. I am repeatedly told that the soul itself is androgynous. And yet, in the same breath, clients declare sex is not an unimportant factor. I have learned all souls can and do assume male and female mental impressions toward other entities as a form of identity preference. Case 6 and 7 shows the importance of the newly arrived soul in seeing familiar faces identified by gender. This is also true of the next case. Another reason why I selected case 8 is to indicate how and why souls choose to visually appear in human form to others in the spirit world. I don't know. Do we have enough time to go with case 8? I wasn't going to go with case 8. All right, I guess we'll go with case 8. Doctor, you have just started to actually leave the Earth's astral plane now and are moving further and further into the spirit world. I want you to tell me what you feel. Patient. Silence. So peaceful. Doctor, is anyone coming to meet you? Yes. It's my friend Rachel. She is always here for me when I die. Doctor, is Rachel a soulmate who has been with you in other lives, or is she someone who always remains here? Patient, well, with some indignation. She doesn't always stay here. No, she is with me a lot in my mind when I need her. She is my own guardian, said with possessive pride. Note, the attributes of guides are differentiated from soulmates, and other supportive entities will be examined in Chapter 8. You want the book, don't you? Doctor, why do you call this entity a she? Aren't spirits supposed to be sexless? That's right, in a literal way, because we are capable of both attributes. Rachel wants to show herself to me as a woman for the visual knowing, and it is a mental thing as well with her. Doctor, are you locked into male and female attributes during your spiritual existence? No. As souls, there are periods in our existence when we are more inclined towards one gender than another. Eventually, this natural preference evens out. Doctor, would you describe how Rachel's soul actually looks to you at this moment? A youngish woman, as I remember her best, small with delicate features, a determined expression on her face, so much knowledge and love. Doctor, then you have known Rachel on earth? Responding with nostalgia. Once, long ago, she was close to me in life. Now she is my guardian. Doctor, and what do you feel when you look at her? A calmness, tranquility, love. Do you and Rachel actually look at each other with eyes in a human way? Sort of, but different. You see, the mind behind what we take to be eyes, because that is what we relate to on earth. Of course, we can do the same thing as humans on earth too. What can you do on earth with your eyes that you can also be done in the spirit world? Well, when you look into a certain person's eyes on the ground, even people you have just met, and see a light you have known before, which, well, that tells you something about them. As a human, you don't know why, but your soul remembers. Note, I have heard about the light of spiritual identity being reflected in the human eyes of a soulmate, expressed in a variety of ways from many clients. As for myself, I have knowingly experienced this instant recognition only once in my life. At that moment, I first saw my own wife. The effect is startling and a bit eerie as well. Doctor, are you saying that sometimes on earth, when two people look at each other, they may feel they have known each other before? Yeah, it's deja vu. Okay, well, let's go back to Rachel in the spirit world. If your guardian did not project an image of herself in human form to you, would you have known her anyway? Well, naturally, we can always identify each other by the mind, but it's nicer this way. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a social thing. Seeing a familiar face puts you at ease. So seeing a human face of people you knew in past lives is a good thing then, particularly in the readjustment period right after leaving Earth. Yeah. Otherwise, you feel a little lost at first, lonesome, and maybe confused too. Seeing people as they were helps me get used to things here faster when I first come back, and seeing Rachel is always a big boost. Does Rachel present herself to you in human form right after each death on earth as a way of getting you readjusted to the spirit world? Oh, yeah, she does. And she gives me security. I feel better when I see others I have known there before too. And do you speak to these people? No one speaks. We communicate by the mind. Telepathically. Yes. Is it possible for souls to have private conversations which cannot be telepathically picked up by others? For intimacy, yes. How is that done? By touch. It's called touching communication. Note, when two spirits come so close to each other, they are conjoined. My subjects say they can send private thoughts by touch, which passes between them as electrical sound impulses. In most instances, subjects in hypnosis do not wish to talk to me about these personal confidences. Doctor, could you clarify for me how human features can be projected by you as a soul? Well, from my massive energy, I just think of the features I want, but I can't tell you what gives me the ability to do this. Well, then, can you tell me why you and the other souls project certain features at different times? It depends on where you are in your movements around here. When you see another and your state of mind, then. That's what I want to get at. Tell me more about recognition. You see, recognition depends on a person's feelings when you meet them here. They will show you what they want you to see of themselves and what they think you want to see. It also depends on the circumstances of your meeting with them. Can you be more specific, please? What different circumstances can cause energy forms to materialize in a certain way towards other spirits? It is the difference between you being on their turf or your turf. They may choose to show you one set of features in one place, while in another, you might see something else. Note, spiritual territory will be explained as we proceed further into the spirit world. I can see I'm going over a little bit. Well, I don't know how much further this goes. It goes along. Well, all right, we will pick up on that because I respect y'all's time as well. But, and of course, as I usually do, more subject matter than what I have time for. Adrona7 finally reached 500 subs. Thank you, everyone. Hey, way to go. I see 1,000 coming for you too. All right, so I'm going to do the regression thing. So I'll certainly let you know when that gets firmed up. And waiting for, well, ever since the interruption to the world came. And I don't know what you feel about hypnosis, reaching out to Alba as well. I think there's validity to it. Hey, Regina. This thing's going by so fast, I can't read it all. Well, what was that? What was that? Okay, I'm just reading that. Catching up, man, and trying to catch up. Y'all got such great messages here. So tomorrow, got the ladies on, the wise women, the cosmic coven. And you're welcome, Heidi. Kind of feel led that, you know, this is where we are, because it gives, I think it gives all of us hope. And the world needs a lot more hope right now. Reddit, yeah, read it. If I let somebody hypnotize me, I'll end up with all my clothes. Well, Teresa, I can I can dig that. I can dig that. Seriously. Kelly, you're welcome. You're welcome. I just never think of those things. I mean, it has such imagery in the mind. That's all I could. Did I get Linda? I got your email. I just haven't. Yes, I did. And I usually try to get back on Saturdays to answer emails. But yes, I did. And I can see where that was coming from. And I'll put it to the group. How's that? No pause is listening and soaking it up while drinking a chocolate phosphate in my mind. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I love the people in here. All right, folks, have yourself a great rest of the day. See you tomorrow. What else going on? Outwardly, please. What's up, Shannon? Why are you turning red? Well, because I blush easy. What can I say? And it's true. You ever heard the expression, he wears his, expressions out there? Yeah, it's true. Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Teresa. It's just some of those things. You just don't go down those paths, It's just like, you know. All right, folks. So I'm going to be making like a tree and leaves. So I will see you later. Much love to all of you. Rennie, much love to you, dear. And so I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Teresa, thank you. A good laugh is good. Does the heart good as a good medicine. All right.